In 2010 and again in 2018, we experienced prolonged spells of sub-zero temperatures down to -20 and below. Now this resulted in an increase in the number of calls to heating engineers from customers with condensing boilers. There was a good chance that the condensate discharge pipe had frozen and become blocked with ice, causing the boiler to shut down. Most of these problems occurred as the condensate discharge pipe was located externally to the building for some or all of its length. In extremely cold conditions, if your condensate pipe is frozen, depending on the boiler model, you may encounter error codes like E28 or E133. Before you contact your installer, you can try defrosting the pipe yourself if it's accessible and safe to do so. First of all, it's really important to wrap up warm, as you may be outside for some time. You will need to identify the correct pipe outside. You're looking for a white or black plastic pipe, not to be confused with the flue terminal. The condensate pipe may be covered with insulation, so you may have to remove the insulation to access the plastic pipe. The blockage itself is likely to be where the pipe is most exposed outside the building, and probably at its end or at a bend or dip in the pipe where condensate water could collect and freeze. You can use a hot water bottle or a microwavable heat pack. You can also pour hot but not boiling water onto where you think the blockage could be. Using boiling water may crack the pipe due to the sudden change in temperature, and there is also a chance that you may burn yourself. Defrosting the condensate pipe sometimes won't happen as quickly as you'd like. Be patient and repeat the procedure a few times if pouring warm water on the condensate pipe hasn't worked on its first attempt. Just remember that the water you're pouring on the pipe can quickly freeze, making the ground where you're standing slippery. So please take care when you're attempting to defrost your condensate pipe. Reset the boiler from its E133 or E28 fault code, either by simply pressing the reset button for 2 seconds or by turning and holding the selector switch anti-clockwise for around about 5 seconds, then letting go. With a bit of luck, your boiler will fire up and you'll be nice and warm in no time at all. If after a few attempts the boiler still fails to ignite, then you may have to call your local gas safe registered engineer to get her or him to take a look at the problem for you. To reduce the risk of your condensate pipe freezing in sub-zero conditions, locate the central heating control knob on your boiler and turn it fully clockwise as far as it can go. The boiler will now be set to achieve a maximum flow temperature to your radiators at around 80 degrees, as indicated by the figure shown in the display. The boiler is now less likely to condense at a higher temperature, therefore there will be less condensed water travelling down the condense pipe. Once the cold snap has passed, adjust your central heating control knob back to where it was before. As well as condensate pipes freezing in sub-zero weather conditions, it's also possible for condensate pipes to become blocked depending on their route. If you take a look underneath your boiler and locate the white plastic pipe, usually towards the left-hand side, follow the route and see where it terminates. If it terminates internally, then there is a good chance that it's piped into a sink waste, especially if your boiler is in or near the kitchen or bathroom. Now, if you've noticed recently that your sink has become slow to drain, then this could be a good indication that there may be a blockage or restriction within the waste pipe connected to the sink. A blockage or restriction in the sink waste will also prevent the condensate water that is produced by your boiler to drain properly. And sometimes it can also make the boiler sound like it's gurgling. If you do experience nuisance ignition related faults on your boiler, it's worth checking the sink waste for blockages, but only if you feel confident in doing so. Also, mention this to your installer, especially if an ignition related fault is intermittent, as a blocked condensate pipe can be easily overlooked in the warmer months.